Thanks for joining us on the Hook Pod today. Today we've got Ryan Bradley here in the south of Western Australia, and the Hook Pod is from Hooked on Middleton Beach, and we are a seafood provider to the West Australian public. And there's been unbelievable Christmas present to the seafood industry from the Labor government here in Western Australia. Ryan, tell us what's happened. Who sounds like to me is turning a little bit vegan.
Well, I think we're all going to have to turn vegan soon, Shane. It's going to be no fresh fish, no lamb, not allowed to have a gun. You know, it's absolutely insane what's happening. It's crazy. So
we don't have a vote down here anyway, do we?
No, they don't care about us.
They're all in the city, and all the people who provide all the food for the city, they live in the country.
We do.
And we never get looked after by this government.
No, we do not. And, you know, look, I've got nothing against the city people, but, fair crack of the whip for us poor fellas down here. You know, like you say, we're providing for them, giving them economical food, seafood, caught right on their doorstep, and that's just been shut down with the stroke of a pen. It's absolutely devastating. So a huge swathe of the West Australian coastline has just been closed to commercial fishing, demersal commercial fishing to be specific. But that includes demersal gill netting for sharks, which do catch the scale fish also. If you haven't heard about it, you must have had your head in the sand, so I won't go into it too deeply, but, we've got intergenerational families that have got their whole lives based around these fisheries, and they've been told they've got 3 weeks. That's it. You're out.
Yep, unbelievable. When I've won Australia's Best Fish and Chips twice in 2018, which was sponsored by the Fisheries Research and Development Corporation, which is Canberra, right, funded by us through the federal government. And the reason I won it, and in 2024 by the Australian seafood industry, is because of the amount of seafood that I have fresh in my shops. It's not all about the cooking, it's about promoting, and it's about supplying fresh seafood from this fantastic country to our customers. And this is what they promoted. This is what we had to put in to a massive application. All the questions were all around fresh seafood, promoting it for Australia. Soon, which is going to be very soon, we will not have any.
You won't?
To give to anybody.
No.
So the governments are funding us to supply. Now the governments are cutting us, so we don't have any left. And the prices are just going to be exorbitant.
It'll be too much. The price you'll have to charge, or the price the fishermen will have to get for their fish to make it worth going out, will be too much for the average punter. People just won't be able to afford it.
It's incredible. I just can't
travesty.
believe in our industry and all the fish shops, the seafood shops, apart from the fishermen themselves, all the fresh shops, restaurants. Neil Perry's all over social media this morning talking about the fish that he gets from WA, to go to Sydney and Melbourne and that.
And that, I'll just make a point,
quality.
Is about 15%. What were you saying earlier?
Yeah, 75% we use here.
That's right, eaten domestically.
Yep.
A small amount goes over east. This is high-end stuff.
Yep, to top chefs in top
chefs,
restaurants.
Mate. And that's doing the fish justice. Getting the top price you can for that seafood is really doing those fish justice. That's what you want, maximum economic value from those fish.
For the 22 years that I've been in this industry in 3 different shops up in Perth and now down here in Albany, I've never ever known for our seafood stocks to be hammered that much by the government. I mean, fishermen look after the stocks. Fishermen go out there and do the right thing. And I mean,
we do, Shane.
For them over the last 9 years to do nothing and then come up with this idea of let's can the whole lot and so no one can eat anything is just unbelievable, and it's going to destroy a lot of businesses. We are the biggest employers of people in this country, small business. And look how many small businesses this is going to affect.
I don't think this government likes small business. I think they're anti-small business. They like to see everything bought from a couple of big companies. It's easy to manage. It's easy to look after. Same with the fishing. They just want a couple of large fishing boats out there catching all the fish. We can manage them. None of these small mum and dad operated fisheries, Pretty much every fishery they're closing is a small family-based fishery.
I thought we were trying to get inflation down. Hey? By cutting a resource in half, or even, probably
more
three
than half.
quarters,
Yeah.
right? How's that going to help inflation? Because the prices of this fantastic bit of protein is going to go through the roof.
That will.
People can't. They're buying bassa and they're buying stuff from overseas now, right? For the 22 years I've been in this industry, all I've ever heard from government is buy local, buy fresh, buy local, buy local. We can't buy local anymore.
It's all out the door, mate.
Mate, how do we stop importing seafood from countries that don't have the control and the biosecurity that we have if we can't eat our own? Hey?
It's a disgusting
work that
thing.
out.
I can't work it out, mate. It is out of control.
Apparently, we have the smallest fishing fleet here in Western Australia compared to all the other states, and we have the biggest coastline.
We do. You know, the Australian economically exclusive fishing zone that we have around Australia, so it's from the shore to the 200 nautical mile limit, that equates to X amount of square kilometres of ocean. So there's a lake in Africa, which is about a quarter of the size of that produces 3 times as much fish. They're allowed to fish it, obviously. No, just let that sink in for a second. There's a lake in Africa that produces more seafood than the whole economic exclusive zone of Australia. Absolutely madness. That's on the internet. Google it. Look it up.
Yep.
Lake Malawi or somewhere like that. It's
I know
a big lake.
Near Zimbabwe there.
Oh, and, you know, that's only through the restrictions that we have here. You know, we have the best managed fisheries in the world. We really do. You know, the demersal gill netters, they've got VMS, they've got real-time catch recording, they have to log every minute that net goes in the water till it comes out.
Yep.
So it's an hour-based fishery.
Tell us.
Soon to have cameras on the boats, and they've just wiped them out. See ya.
Well, gill netting's going to be finished probably in another year or two anyway. There's no way. There's no way they're going to keep it after this. They'll keep going and going, and they've actually said that in their release that this is just the start. It's not the end.
As you know, I just came back from a trip to Sicily. There's a gear switch forum with some great guys, Steve Ayres, some paper net fishermen from around Australia, and they sent us there to find an alternative to gill netting, basically. That's what they wanted us to see if we could find something. And all they did was reinforce the fact that gill netting is actually better for the environment than most other forms of fishing.
There you go.
Believe it or not, this is what the research tells us.
Yep.
So it has a very, very low carbon footprint, right? I'll just start. I might go off on a rant here, but just bear with me. So you lay your net down, touches the seafloor, you pick it straight back up in a straight line. There's very little bottom disturbance. You don't have to tow it. You're not dragging it across the bottom. Most of them are near shore, in pretty close.
Yep.
You're not using a lot of fuel to get to where you need to go. The fish are eaten locally. Now I'll jump across to fish trapping. So this is something they want us to turn to. 5% of all fish traps are lost every year.
Left in the ocean.
Left in the ocean, creating marine pollution.
Yep.
Now, I've been commercially gill netting in many fisheries for 35 years, and I've never lost a net. Not one.
No.
Not one.
It's always there when you get back.
Always there. We know where it is. We put it on the bottom. It's right there. Even if it gets cut for whatever reason.
Everything as well. You
can't
can't
just grapple it back. We don't lose them. Marine farms, so fish farms, you know, none of that stuff's recyclable. It's got the worst. You can't recycle it. Same, they lose a lot of their equipment, gets lost, creates marine pollution. We all know what's been happening in Tasmania with the fish kills, up north around, I think it was around the Broome area or the dead barramundi. You know, these things aren't the answer. Gill netting is a great, efficient way to catch fish. And those of you wanting to touch on bycatch,
yep,
there's very minimal bycatch.
It's all gets used.
It all gets used.
Yep.
If it's retained, it's not classed as bycatch.
Yep.
We don't want to catch undersized fish. We don't want to catch things we can't sell. It's more work for us. We don't want to do that.
Yep.
So when it's used in a responsible, efficient manner, we don't catch bycatch.
Yep.
You know, it's just like responsible farming.
Yep.
You know, you do it right.
Yep.
And I'll ask anyone to challenge me. I'll talk to anyone about that. The bycatch is minimal. I don't know where people get these figures from.
Yeah.
You know, the demersal gill nets, so the guys that catch the sharks, they talk about bycatch for them. The main bycatch they catch is dog sharks, a non-commercial species. Recos don't want, you can't eat the bloody things. You know, they could sit in a puddle for 3 days and survive. You know, they all go back alive. They'll come up alive.
Well,
you
we
know.
use all the bycatch. You know, you
It's
get
not bycatch if you're using it, Shane.
Exactly. Well, it is bycatch if you're only going out for sharks. But the thing is, we use it all out of there.
Yeah.
When I go down and pick it up, it's blue groper, it's queen snapper, it's what else is in it? I don't know.
There's all sorts. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Even
all,
the
leather
leather
jackets,
jackets get
yep.
sold. Yep.
Yeah. It all goes up to market, gets used. Tell us what it costs to set up for a fisherman who wants to go long lining or wants to do what you do, estuary fishing. I mean, an estuary license is something these days like nearly 200,000.
Correct.
But apart from that, you got a boat.
You got a boat,
Insurance.
you got nets that need to be made.
Yep.
You know, we have to basically pay to use our license every year. That's another $3,500 just to enter the fishery. Now you got fuel, running costs. You know, all adds up. And that's for a small fishery.
If you've got a fisherman who's shark fishing, he's got a boat a little bit bigger than yours. It's probably worth $200,000 or $300,000.
Correct.
Which they're not going to get their money back for.
No.
They're just going to get their money back for their licenses.
Yeah.
And every other thing that they got deckies who are going to be out of a job.
Every aspect of it.
The fuel, there's less fuel being sold. There's less, guys who go long lining or something like that. They got bait they're not going to be using. There's so many different things, isn't there?
And there's going to be no fresh shark.
And
fish and chip shops.
And where do a lot of these people live is in coastal communities, which we've been trying to get more people to go and live in out of the city. So they're closing those people down. So there's going to be less people living in those communities. 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3
See
weeks.
you later. Shut down your businesses.
Yep.
And some of these guys, they do have their own fish shops.
Yep.
You know, I'm thinking of, Anthony Hesselwood. He's just started a marvellous shop down there in Augusta, I think it was.
Yep, Augusta.
You know, he's set up a premium quality fish business. You know, he's got a dry aging facility there. It's all very high-end stuff. He does the fish absolute justice.
Been devastated.
Only this year he set it up. 3 weeks, shut it down.
Yeah. And, people in our businesses, our small businesses, like I've done over many, many years, is you put your house on the line, you put your family on the line because you don't see them half the time. You don't pay yourself super. No. You put everything back into your business. And I'm not just talking fishermen. I'm talking about, fish shops, seafood shops, tackle shops. We all put everything on the line to have a business that will provide us with an income. And it ain't a big income because if you work out how many hours you do, I reckon my wage is about $20 an hour after what I put in. And we pay our staff $35 to $40 an hour plus super.
Yes.
Right? It's about $42 to get someone to work in hospitality these days, right? On a weekend, it's even more. And we take home about half of that. And now the businesses are just getting shut down.
And that's where, that's where your kids go to work. My kids have worked for you.
My kids have all worked in ours.
Yeah, there you go. Where do they get a start? It's in the small businesses.
I tell them to get out of
towns.
small business as soon as they can. There's no hope. There isn't, is there?
Devastating.
Why would they do this to us?
I don't know.
These are the species of fish that I use, Ryan, and you'd know a lot of them. From the estuary fishermen down here, King George whiting, cobbler, flathead, garfish, skippy, pike, herring. I've had 22 species of fish through this shop over the years. And the demersals and the stuff they go out hooking for, jewfish, which we don't see a lot anyway down here, but we see a few. Pink snapper. I don't see tons and tons of pink snapper, but they are around. It's the weather down here is the thing that stops people from fishing down here.
That's correct.
You can only go out so many days of the year.
That's right.
We have nanagai, which is a school fish, so we get quite a few nanagai. Queenies, break-sea cod, 8-bar cod, harpooka, yellowtail kingfish, Samson fish, blue-eyed trevella. I have had all these species on my menu for so long, supporting all the local fishermen down here. And you know what? They talk about using fish that's underutilised. I use every single one of them just about.
I know you do.
And
there's nothing wrong with a lot of those fish.
I do exactly what they ask you to do, use underutilised fish to help out, right? Samson fish. I sell Samson fish all the time and people want to, throw them back in the water, but they are. You can
They're
use
a great
them,
fish.
no problem.
There's nothing wrong with them.
But
And it's a more affordable species for people that don't want to buy jewfish and pink snapper.
But the thing that shits me off, they just haven't gone and said you can't catch jewfish and pink snapper.
No, it's a total 50%
These guys
reduction.
can't even go and catch any of that fish.
Nothing. So we're specifically talking about the metropolitan area here.
We are.
700 kilometres of coastline.
Yep.
No demersal species, all gone.
Yep.
Now the rest of us...
Well, that's not just metropolitan. We're talking Augusta to Kalbarri. So that's out of the metropolitan
Well,
area.
it is, yeah. It's a huge part.
900 kilometres, I think
900. Anyway, outside of that area, we're also going to cop a 50% reduction.
Right.
So
that
that's
includes all these estuarine fish?
Not the estuarine stuff, the offshore fish, the demersals.
Yeah.
But the guys that catch the demersals, the dewies and the pinkies, they also are out there catching your harpooka and
8-bar cod.
8-bar cod and your Samson fish. All that's caught in the same fishery.
Yep, blue
And
eye.
they can't just say, well, just don't catch the dewies, No, it's a total 50% reduction. There'll be a day or a hour-based thing or...
Well, they're going to quota.
They're going to quota.
You're going to have a quota by 2028. So next year, we've got fish labelling coming out, right?
Country of origin.
2026. It's
Buy
going to be
local, they want.
I for imported, M for mixed, and the last one says L for local. We might as well just take that one off.
Just get rid of it, Shane.
Actually, we can take off
pointless.
mixed. We can take off mixed as well.
You can't have mixed
We'll just
without...
have imported. Hey? What a joke.
That is a joke.
From right up north, apparently trawl fish is getting canned completely up in the Pilbara.
Yep, so there's only a few vessels up there trawling still.
And I heard 80% of Perth's fish is from trawlers.
Well, I'll give you some
I
statistics.
don't know if that's right or not, but that is a lot of fish that Perth isn't going to have anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And what sort of pressure is that going to put on our 50% that we've got left down here in the south of the state?
Massive pressure.
Well, I won't be able to buy any fish because the people down here are going to send it to Perth and get a bigger dollar for it.
That's right.
Because there's no fish in Perth.
Right, so there is a trawler that hasn't been mentioned, a trawl fishery on the south coast here. So this stretches from South Australia right through to Augusta. I'll show you a picture of it here in red. Massive area. So these cameras, I don't know if you can see that. So this is the GAB trawl sector. Camera.
Augusta all the way around to South Australia.
Yeah.
Yep.
So their total
Great Australian bite.
Their total allowable catch of bite redfish, so nanagai, a species we catch about collectively between the rec sector and the commercial sector on the south coast is about 50 tonne.
Mm-hmm.
Their allocation for 24-25 is, you ready for this? 959 tonne. That's what they're allowed to take. And their zone, they're allowed to take that anywhere in that zone. So they're allowed to trawl all the way up to Augusta and take that.
Yep.
And they're worried about our poultry 50 tonne.
Yep. If we catch that much.
If we
are we catching that much?
I don't think we are, personally. So they're allowed to fish anywhere in that pink area. They could come right here, catch 900 tonne if they wanted. And that hasn't been mentioned anywhere in any of the crook government's posts or media releases. It's the big elephant in the room.
Mm.
So he hasn't got rid of all the trawlers in Western Australia. There's still Commonwealth trawlers operating with huge limits.
Yep.
Massive limits. Now, I'm not anti-trawling.
And we want to get rid of the little local guys like you and all the others that I get my fish off who knock on my back door and drop tubs at my back door.
That's right.
We want to get rid of them.
Yep.
But
it's disgusting.
Isn't it unbelievable?
It is unbelievable, Shane.
So I've come up with a few suggestions for fish that we will have to... we can buy imported fish. Most of it's from Asia,
right?
Which is what we're trying to stop from fishing. Red spot emperor, blue spot emperor, even gold band you can buy. White snapper, bassa, and there's a real ripper fish. There's an Argentinian flathead that you can buy at one of our local suppliers down here, which you can put in your fish.
Pre-battered, I hear.
Well, some of them are, and there is one that isn't either. Oh. An Argentinian flathead. Let's go for a bit more for that.
I've eaten that.
South America.
Yeah, yep. There is issues in that fishery with slavery as well. I'd just like to touch on. If you look into it a bit deeper, the Argentinian
One of
flathead
my
fishery.
favourite fish when I can't get fresh fish is our mackerel from up north.
Beautiful product.
What's going to
Absolutely
happen
stunning.
with that fishery? Is that 50% as well?
I don't know about the Spanish mackerel. What I do know is there's going to be an effort shift from demersals to pelagics. People will go up north and they'll be targeting more things like mackerel.
The price of this fish for me is going to go through the roof, isn't it? Because
And that in turn translates into a higher price for the customer. So
by a mile. Yeah, because
It's
there's
gonna be
not going to
paying
be
more.
any other fish to put on the table.
no, that's if you can get it, Shane. See if you'll be able to get it. Yeah, that's one of the other big issues that's going to happen with this shutting down of these fisheries. Is the effort shift.
Yeah.
So not just from the metropolitan area out into the regions. We're talking about effort shift from offshore species to nearshore species.
Yeah.
So more squid, more whiting are going to be targeted, more flathead.
Yeah.
And,
So your fishery is going to get battered.
my fishery, yeah.
Yeah.
And pick the next couple of fish that are going to be in trouble,
Yeah.
with that big effort shift.
Yeah,
There's more taken out.
Yeah. And that's
then
without
what?
even talking about recreational fishing,
Well, yeah.
We're not going to talk about that today because there's plenty of people who want to talk about that. But for commercial people, that affects us more. And, I feel so sorry for tackle shops and fresh fish shops and fish. I was just talking to a guy the other day from Bunbury, who's a customer of Anthony's.
Yep.
And he buys fresh shark and that off him, and couldn't even talk to me. He's that devastated. Been in the shop for 3 years, and all he's done during that time is promote fresh, local WA. And now, not going to have anything.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know where they're heading with it all. I just can't believe it. And I've been doing it for 22 years, and I've never heard of, such devastation in such a short time to the businesses that are associated with fishing in WA.
Yep. Now, look, I'm not anti-rec either. I'm a rec fisherman as well as a commercial
Yeah,
fisherman.
we all
I
are.
love taking my kids up the river, catching a bream or a salmon off the beach, And I feel for the tackle stores, the bait suppliers and all those guys that have made a living out of fishing, whether it be commercial or recreational. What about those guys as well?
Well, there's so many really good lure makers now, and who are supplying the demersal market for lures.
Jew baits.
You might as well just give up for the next 21 months. You're not going to sell one, and the tackle shops might as well close their door.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big part, especially in the metro area.
And that's where the big dollars get spent too.
Absolutely.
And those
Absolutely. You got to
offshore
fill your boat up. You might as well boat builders. And what about the flood of commercial boats that are going to go on the market? Who's going to buy them? No one.
they're going to give them to the boat people.
Yeah, they are.
Just
the
send them
feds
back.
will come and buy all them.
Buy them all up.
Yeah.
The illegal immigrants, send them back on a bloody.
You'll see going
Shark
up. You'll
boat.
see going up the coast. There'll be a tug at the front, and you'll have 35 boats in tow behind. Actually, hang on, what is it? 65 boats in tow behind, all 50 footers.
Yeah,
because no one will be using them.
Well, that's not including the guys that are going to have to shut shop because of the 50% reduction outside of the metropolitan area. Yeah, scary times, mate. Very scary. So you want to be a commercial fisherman.
One of the biggest issues in this is about recording your catch, which all professional fishermen have to record their catch, and there's always been a lot of controversy about recreational fishing not recording their catch. What do you think about that?
Something that has to happen, especially for the iconic species that we're talking about here, the demersal.
How can you have a real science of what's being caught if you've only got half of the amount of fish being recorded? What about the other half?
You can't measure it, Shane. You can't manage it.
Correct.
They have no idea how much the recreational sector is taking. No idea. How can they? They just don't know. They can't be at every boat ramp looking at every esky.
No.
They take little
they don't
snapshots.
have the budget to do that anyway.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
No.
But that will come in. There's already an app out for it. And
apparently it hasn't worked very well in South Australia, and I don't think it's going to work, but it does need to be recorded. If they want to make, well, are they really going to worry about it? They just make decisions like this anyway.
It seems to be the case.
Yeah, when they don't have that. What about this meeting? What have you heard at this meeting?
Just everything we've talked about now. Not a great deal to report from that. There's a lot of angry fishermen there asking a lot of hard questions, obviously. And effort shift's a big one. So this is for the commercial guys worried about the recreational effort shift.
Yep.
From the metro area to the south coast, they've obviously changed bag limits for, or are going to, for the demersal species on the south coast and north of the metro area. But, like I said, what about the near-shore species that are going to be targeted as well by the increased pressure? There needs to be bag limit changes for those. Maybe possession limit changes so people can't go out of their area and just fill their freezer up, or,
Yep.
everyone gets a possession limit for mum, dad, the kids, the dog, take a freezer full home. It can't happen. It's got to stop. Otherwise, the next people in trouble is north and south of Perth. We'll be the next ones to be shut down.
Do you think 50% reduction down here and the other fisheries north of Perth and that is going to put fishermen out of business? Is it not going to be viable for them?
It has to be. A friend of mine is paying a boat off.
Yes.
His wife's
of course.
just got, been diagnosed with cancer. I'm not going to mention names.
Yep.
They're in financial difficulty.
And then
he needs to be there for his wife. He's just getting by. And then you get told, bang, 50% less.
Yep.
Imagine going to a farmer who's farming, say, 500 hectares and saying, well, in 3 weeks' time, we're just going to, you've only got 250 hectares. Sell those extra headers you got. Who cares about your bills,
Mm.
And that's what we're up against.
That's what we're up against.
Decisions that can be made overnight.
From people sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Up in
destroying our livelihoods. Anyway, it's it's been devastating to say the least. And
it's only early times.
It is only early times,
Yeah.
The reductions we're getting here on the south coast are nothing compared to what the poor people on the west coast are getting. They're just they're gone.
Yeah, their licences, they've got to give them back.
They're gone.
Yeah, not even 50%.
And I really feel for them. I really do.
Yeah, it's not going to be viable for. I don't think a lot of people won't be viable 50%.
No,
compared to 100%.
And it really is lazy management, going for low hanging fruit. Let's just get rid of all the commercial guys off the west coast. Just get rid of them. Oh, it's easy. You don't have to manage them. Don't have to worry about them. Appease the minority.
They can go truck driving. Hey, get a job at the zoo.
Yeah.
Hey, bus driver.
They can.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? Hey, after you're fishing most of your life,
yeah.
And your dad was fishing and his dad was fishing.
That's right.
And you just so sorry, guys.
Find something else to do.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk again.
We will.
This episode is sponsored by Hooked on Middleton Beach, twice voted Australia's best fish and chips, 2018 and 2024.